Hello, we're going to do a little walk around demonstration video. I'm Justin with Mobility of Denver. This is the 2021 Chrysler Voyager. I'll go around the vehicle, notate any items as we come across them. Overall, vehicle is in great shape. This is a used vehicle with about 17,000 miles, but it has a brand new conversion on it. So the company that did the conversion is VMI. They're based out of Arizona. And they did the conversion for the lowering of the floor and adding all the ramp system, electronics, all that kind of thing. Good tires all the way around it. Vehicle is just in excellent shape. So you get the benefit of having a newer vehicle at a lower price, since it does have a little bit of miles on it, and it's a 21 model. One scratch I did notice is just on the rear bumper right there. Alloy wheels and a beautiful silver color with a nice light leather interior that we'll get to in just a second here. Okay, so the way this works is we're going to unlock the car, and then we're going to press, see how there's an X2 on there? So you got to press the door button twice. That activates the slider door, but since VMI converted this vehicle, it also has a ramp system integrated into the control. So as the ramp comes out, this vehicle is kneeling down as well. So what that does is that reduces the ramp angle here. So when a wheelchair like this manual chair goes up the ramp, it's less steep for it to get up there. It's about 9 degrees rather than 11 or 12. You can turn that feature off if you didn't want it. Okay, so the vehicle has been lowered about 14.9 inches. So you can see where the new plastic that they installed goes up here. And then the seat height of the original seats was there. These front two seats are on pedestals, and so they are removable, and I'll show you how that works. But essentially when you get the vehicle, it would be set up like this. So this comes with a set of 4 straps to tie down the wheelchair there. These are manual straps, so they're a little bit harder to use, in that you have to use 2 hands. So you have to pull this at the same time as loosening this, so then that way as you tighten it, you can strap it in. So I'll show you that wheelchair put in there with those straps. So as you bring the wheelchair in, you'll line it up there, and then you can bring it in. Now the foot plate, where the person's foot will be sticking out, sticks out the farthest. So as you come in here, you point that foot plate, and then you rotate the wheelchair around, so then that way the foot plate is right in between the seats, and then right about there is where you would have the wheelchair setting. So it's in front of this line here, and then back there. That way your straps can reach over here and lock in to hold the wheelchair. Now it's going to be kind of hard for me to do with this strap here, but I'll show you with the retractor style strap, since I'm one-handed holding the camera. So these lock into the floor here, and then with the retractor style straps you can just pull them out, and then they'll self-retract into there, and then you hit this to release. So that's why we recommend using the retractors, just because the manual straps are a little bit harder to use, especially if you haven't done it a whole bunch. Okay, so then once the wheelchair's in, you secure it in 4 places. And then we have this auxiliary seat belt that uses the same anchor system on the floor. So this reaches up and connects with the existing seat belt from the other side. To strap in there. So you have a lap and shoulder belt that secures the person in the wheelchair in that back seat, and then you also have one for the front seat. So let's show you that next. So we're going to take these straps out, and then we're going to take the wheelchair out. And and then we'll show you how the seat removes. So there is a wire loom running from the electronics of the seat, because you have controls of the seat on the driver's side. This one's manual, but then you have the airbag wires that run to the airbag sensor. And then as you can see down here, there's actually wheels on this. So we will pull this, and at the same time I put my hand up here on top of the seat. That way the whole thing just pops right out. So then that seat comes out, and then you have a flat space on the floor here to be able to secure the wheelchair up there. So then we would move the straps up to the front two position. This would be the seat belt that would attach there. And then behind the seat, you have these strap locations on the floor. So you'd have two back there, two up front. And then that would allow the person in the wheelchair to sit up front in their wheelchair, be able to see over the dashboard just like they're in a regular seat. Now this car itself has a lot of features on it. Oh, one other thing, let me point out, we have a VMI button here. So that operates the ramp sequence from inside the car. You can also use the remote, like I said. You have the original Dodge button for the door right there, as well as up here. And so any of the OEM controls, that will send the signal first to the OEM computer, the Chrysler computer, and then that sends the signal back to the computer that's back there. This button right here, what's nice and the reason I like it is because it first sends the signal to the VMI computer and then to the Chrysler computer. The reason that's important is because these vehicles will have a control unit from VMI that goes to sleep after a short period of time, a couple days. That way it conserves power. You just don't want a power drain that kills your battery. So that computer will actually save power by going to sleep. So if you go to open up everything and you open up the door using the button here and it just opens up the door and doesn't do the ramp, go ahead and close it, and then you hit this vehicle VMI button here, and that'll start opening everything up. And when it's flashing green like this, that means everything's good, and that has power to the control unit. If it's ever flashing yellow, that means it's time for service, and if it's red, that means the power in the car is too low for it to operate the system, so you need to charge up the car's battery. Okay, so then we have push button start here. So I have my foot on the brake and the key in the car. That'll turn everything on. These are fairly simple vehicles with a lot of options, so if you ever don't want to use them, you don't have to. But the idea is that you would have everything that you need to drive with a normal car. So you have your gas, brake, you select your gear. Well, we can't select the gear. I wonder why that is. Well, when the van's ramp is out, it will not go into park, or out of park. So we need to go ahead and close up the ramp here. That has an interlock system in it, so you can never drive away while the ramp is out. So once everything is closed and that stops flashing, then we'll be able to put the vehicle into drive. So it's just a safety feature that these cars have now. And my foot needs to be on the brake, and then I can go into drive. And then this car will go into reverse as well. And you have a backup camera standard. Then you have all your heating and AC controls here. So we have a screen that can be up here that you would see, that you would just adjust the temperature as needed for the driver and the passenger. And then you have a fan speed that can be set there. On the actual radio itself, everything's touchscreen, and then you have your preset programs up top. You can plug in more stuff, Bluetooth, USB, all kinds of things for your smartphone there. This vehicle doesn't have navigation. It does have a compass, standard, and then of course you have all your settings for the different things on the car. The fuel gauge here is on the right, so you can see how full it is. And then you have RPM gauge and a speedometer there. The vehicle's temperature is just here, and then you can also see it digitally displayed as the outside temperature there. So you have engine, operating coolant temperature, and then you have the outside speed there, temperature there. Speedometer is also right in the middle there, so you can see it digitally. And then you can see the vehicle has 17,961 miles. You have automatic headlights here. If you ever wanted everything off, you just turn it off. You have running lights, headlights, and then we always just set it to auto. You can adjust your high beams there. And then on the right hand side, you rotate this outside dial for your rear wipers, and then your regular wipers, you just press up to the desired setting for intermittent wipers. Let's go check around the back. So I have left and right power doors. If the blue light is ever on, that means you turn the power doors off. So you always just want to make sure you don't see a blue light there. And then we'll go check out the engine bay and the rear trunk. Okay, so this has Chrysler's 3.6 liter 6-cylinder engine. It's in a lot of their vehicles, so it's a well-made setup. This has a newer battery from Interstate Batteries in there, so that's a good solid one. One thing to note, this car will turn on and off at a stoplight. It has an auto start stop feature. That's to save fuel. That's a new regulated measure for cars that burn gas to be able to do that. You can always turn that feature off if you don't want it. And that blue light on the A means auto start stop is off. So by default, that'll be on. So when you pull up to a light, stoplight, or where you're stopped for a minute with your foot on your brake, the car will actually turn off and it's in ready mode, meaning that car is ready to turn on as soon as you release the gas, the brake, and start pushing the gas. Modified rear cargo area here. The seats do fold down, but they won't do the stow and go feature anymore. So that's about as far down as they'll fold. There's a new modified fuel tank under here, so the stow and go doesn't work. This is the bag we provide with the straps in there. And then you do have a inflatable spare tire back here. So it's something that a lot of cars nowadays, they're just sending with fill kits. This one actually has a donut spare tire, but you do have to fill it up to use it. So it's inside the cabin here, and it doesn't interfere when they do the conversion, which is nice. Other than that, drives like a normal vehicle. It actually has a really nice independent rear suspension. This door has been modified to open wider, so you have a nice opening size there. Overall, very good vehicle compared to what else is out on the market. You have Toyota Siennas, Honda Odysseys. This is a well-priced version that does just about everything. Thank you so much for watching. Let us know what you think.